mystery of Lin Ma's background is about to be unveiled. The Eight Ghosts King Duan Chenkuan also confessed his past to Lin Ma. After receiving the championship reward, Lin Ma and his two friends hurriedly took a taxi to school. Now, with the antidote formula in hand, Lin Ma's priority was to return to Enrant's side. He spared no expense in urging the driver, who was no ordinary person, to act as a temporary racing driver. The driver smoothly accelerated the yellow taxi, turning the usual 3-hour journey to Ares Academy into an adrenaline-filled hour-long dash. Upon arrival, Lin Ma, still excited about seeing Enran, was oblivious to his stomach churning, unlike Achio and Black Little Fat, who couldn't help but vomit at the car door. Rushing to the infirmary, Lin Ma burst through the door excitedly, shouting, "Enran, I'm back." However, he was met with an empty bed, feeling a sudden sense of loss. "Your girlfriend just went out. She was feeling claustrophobic in here and wanted to visit the library." A voice as sweet as an oriole sang. It was the school beauty, Mu Wanqing. "Enran is quite stubborn. I advised her to wait until she's better, but she wouldn't listen," Mu Wanqing said with a smile. "Since she's like that, don't be mad, senior sister. Oh, by the way, here's the antidote formula and the white soul ghost pearl. Could you help me prepare it?" "How could I refuse my dear junior's request? Leave it to me," she replied. "Thanks, senior sister. I'll go find Enran now," Lin Ma said, waving goodbye to Mu Wanqing before rushing to the library. Mu Wanqing thoughtfully remarked, "This kid really cares for his girlfriend. When will I find someone who likes me?" At the library, Enran sat on the floor, engrossed in a book, a warm ray of sunlight gently caressing her hair. Lin Ma entered with a smile, announcing, "Enran, I'm back." Enran teased him, "Looks like you've done well. You came back alive. I finally got the antidote. Your poisoning will be cured soon. You're still weak, though. Let me take you back to rest." "It's okay. Come over here quickly. I've made a new discovery," Enran insisted, and Lin Ma sat down beside her. She shared that after scouring hundreds of books, she uncovered a shocking secret about the Seal Demon Nation. According to the books, the crown princess of Seal Demon had perished in the national tragedy with her 3-year-old grandson and newborn daughter. If the grandson survived, he would be 18 now, and his sister 15. Your age matches the grandson's, and you've mentioned having a sister 3 years younger. So, by your theory, I could be the grandson of Seal Demon and my sister, the princess? Lin Ma found Enrant's theory far-fetched, considering the many siblings with a 3-year age gap. Then why is the Safety Bureau so fixated on you, constantly mentioning the remnants of Seal Demon? And remember, at the Sword Ghost Tomb, I tried so many ways to open it, but it only opened when you arrived. Isn't that too coincidental? Lin Ma shivered at the thought. If Enrant's guess was true, the Safety Bureau's pursuit made sense, and his expression grew serious. "The book says the crown princess perished with her children. How can I be the grandson then?" "Look at this," Enran said, opening a book page. 3 bodies were found in the ruins back then, an adult woman and 2 children. At this point, Lin Ma was utterly confused. "Right, doesn't that prove that the 2 children were burned to death? Then it's even less likely that I'm the grandson. I also thought my guess might be wrong when I saw that report, until I found this book on the secret history of the Seal Demon Nation," Enran explained, pointing to an illustration in the book. "Before the fall of Seal Demon, a maid named Kai Xian had an affair with a guard and secretly gave birth to a son who was 3 years old at the time of the nation's fall. And on this page, it mentions that the last monarch of Seal Demon, though over 80, was still in good health and had a daughter 2 months before the nation was destroyed. Most crucially, the records of the Zhou country's army, who captured the palace, did not mention these 2 children among those killed or captured." Lin Ma, disbelief on his face, half-jokingly said, "Enran, have you been watching too many TV dramas? How can you come up with such a plot? I wonder how your brain works." As he said this, Lin Ma gently stroked Enran's head with his left hand, feeling comforted by the smooth touch of her hair. "Hey, you should believe me. A woman's intuition is always accurate," Enran protested. "I do believe you, but we also have to look at the facts. Don't forget, I have parents. Your father's name is Lin Lan, right? If you break down the character Lan, it's composed of the characters for mountain and wind," Enran said, quickly grabbing Lin Ma's right hand and tracing her fingers over his palm. "The Seal Demon Prince's cousin, who became a monk at the age of 10, had the monastic name Mountain Wind. He served as the national advisor of Seal Demon until its destruction." Lin Ma looked at his palm, deep in thought. The Sword Ghost Tomb recognizing him as its master, the persistent troubles caused by the Safety Bureau, his father's name, all these events, when linked together, seemed to eerily align with Enrant's theory. In Lin Ma's mind, a vivid scene flashed. Amidst a raging palace fire, a beautiful woman holding a baby stood in front of a young man. "Mountain Wind, this is the last bloodline of the Seal Demon royal family. I entrust them to you," she said solemnly. "Big sister, won't you come with us? I'm already an 8th level ghost master. I can protect you both." The young man, Mountain Wind, urged. The woman, tears in her eyes, spoke softly. "I cannot leave. Only if the enemies from Zhou see me commit suicide and believe the Seal Demon royal lineage is extinguished will they rest, and only then can you truly be safe." "Mother, why are you crying? If someone has wronged you, let me take revenge for you. My dear child, you and your sister have a long life ahead. Live well, don't dwell too much on revenge. My only wish is for you both to be healthy and happy." After saying this, the woman turned and walked resolutely into the flames. Watching her valiant figure, Mountain Wind made a silent vow. I will not fail my sister-in-law's trust. I will raise these children to adulthood. Lin Ma suddenly remembered something. He had mentioned to his father about the strong man imprisoned in the safety bureau. That very night, the bureau was decimated, likely his father's doing. And Ran chimed in, reminding Lin Ma that many things that seem coincidental when they occur frequently are likely the truth. It seems I need to have a serious talk with my dad. There are too many secrets hidden here, and I must get to the bottom of them, Lin Ma murmured. Then, looking at Ran, he said, you must be exhausted from going through all this information. Not at all. The thrill of uncovering the truth is energizing, and Ran replied excitedly. Lin Ma playfully tapped her head, causing her to wince in pain. I think you're just a gossip at heart. Let's get back to the infirmary. The antidote for the poison should be ready. And Ran pouted. Lin Ma, you've become skilled at this. I help you unravel the mystery of your life, and you don't even thank me. Lin Ma quickly responded, oh, come on, how could I not thank you? I've already decided to devote myself to you as thanks. Devote yourself? Why do I feel like I'm getting the short end of the stick? And Ran glanced at the slightly blushing Lin Ma. They then left the library together, slowly making their way back to the infirmary. As Lin Ma and Ran walked, they encountered Gao Shishir, who had just returned from the trial ground. Gao Shishir's eyes twitched at the sight of the intimately interacting pair. Passing by, Gao Shishir turned to Lin Ma and asked, did you see Vice Director Sun Deli in the Ghost Domain? Who is Sun Deli? I don't know him. Lin Ma replied coldly, discouraging further questions from Gao Shishir. And Ran playfully nudged Lin Ma with her shoulder and teasingly asked, you really haven't met him? I did. He's dead because of me, Lin Ma admitted. And Ran, thrilled by Lin Ma's feat, excitedly jumped into his arms, wrapping her legs tightly around his waist. Lin Ma, slightly overwhelmed, jokingly pleaded, you can hug, but don't squeeze too hard, or you might damage something important. And Ran's face turned red as she inquired, damage what? Lin Ma, not daring to be too direct, just laughed it off. Meanwhile, Gao Shishir, watching their playful interaction, clutched at his chest, gasping for air. The ghost doll within her became increasingly restless, sensing Ran's happiness. Back in the infirmary, Lin Ma carefully held the brewed antidote for Ran, gently blowing on it to cool it down before handing it to her. It might be a bit bitter. Just bear with it, he said. And Ran, her face still flushed, quietly assured him that she wasn't afraid of a little bitterness. As Ran bravely drank the antidote, Lin Ma felt a sense of relief. His loved one's life was finally safe. He thanked Mu Wanqing profusely for her help. She responded, you're welcome. You're not just my junior anymore, but also my junior apprentice brother. The headmaster has taken you as his last disciple, so you're my junior now. I won't disturb you two any longer. Remember, the master wants to speak with you tonight. Make sure you're there on time. After Mu Wanqing left, the atmosphere in the room shifted as Ran's expression turned serious. According to my research, Zhai Feng might be one of the key figures who led the attack on Seal Demon Nation from Zhou. You must be cautious with 8 Ghosts King Duan Qianquan tonight. With his prestigious status, he likely knows his true identity already. If he was involved in the destruction of Seal Demon, why would he save you and even take you as his disciple? Lin Ma, reflecting on his recent interactions with Zhai Feng, was puzzled and wondered if Zhai Feng had ulterior motives. Leaving in Ran's room, Lin Ma received a call from his father. Stinky boy, did you make it out of the ghost domain alive? How did you do? Any surprises for me? Dad, if I hadn't made it out alive, would I be talking to you right now? As for my performance, nothing surprising, just casually broke the provincial record. Impressive, Lin Ma, you've got my youthful flair. Lin Lan couldn't hide his pride. Of course, who else but me, the only university student in our Lin family. Right, Mountain Wind? The mention of Mountain Wind caught Lin Lan off guard, sweat beading on his forehead. Did Lin Ma know about his lineage? What Mountain Wind? Our home is in the mountains. Of course, the wind is strong. Let's not talk about that. Your sister, Lin Qingyu, wants to talk to you. Lin Ma realized his father had skillfully changed the subject and decided to probe further next time. Lin Qingyu, eager to talk, took the phone from Lin Lan. She had missed her brother since he went to university. Brother, you're so amazing, easily breaking Jiang Province's ghost domain trial record. Little you, it's not that I'm too strong, it's just that the opponents are too weak, Lin Ma joked. Lin Qingyu laughed. Brother, you're always so confident. I wish I could be as amazing as you. Once you're well, come study in Jiang Province. With your talent, you'll outshine all the top students. Lin Ma's lighthearted conversation with his sister was a sharp contrast to Lin Lan and in Shuang's solemn demeanor as they stepped outside. We have to keep Lin Ma's origins a secret for now. The Black Lotus sect isn't strong enough to declare war on Zhou yet. His focus should be on growing stronger. Just then, a black crow with an urgent letter in its beak flew towards Lin Lan, squawking, hurry, hurry, hurry. Lin Lan's expression darkened as he took the envelope. What does the letter say? And Shuang asked anxiously. Lin Lan read the message from the little King of Hell's spy. The Northern Kingdom and Zhou are about to reach a ceasefire. Once the war stops, Zhou's army will be redeployed internally. Our strategically important areas, like the vast Wave City Ghost Domain, Border Ghost Domain, and South Mountain Ghost Domain, will all be in danger. I need to go to the sect immediately. Take care of things at home. With that, Lin Lan hurriedly left, the situation's gravity hanging in the the air. After ending a 2-hour phone call with his sister, Lin Ma went to the Ares Academy training ground to meet Zhai Feng. He greeted his master warmly. "Master, did you want to see me for something?" Zhai Feng, with a stern tone, began. "I heard you broke the provincial record in the trials. Do you feel quite proud of yourself? You managed to handle the perils of the vast Wave City Ghost Domain with ease. Do you think you've reached the level of a strong fighter?" Lin Ma, feeling a bit smug, replied, "Well, I think I did pretty well. I even encountered and defeated evil ghost-level ghosts twice, and Sun Deli, a solid 3rd-level ghost master, also lost to me." Zhai Feng's response was unexpectedly harsh. "I don't know how you managed to defeat the evil ghosts, but if you see defeating Sun Deli as a glory, you're gravely mistaken." Lin Ma, sensing Zhai Feng's unusual harshness, wondered if he had somehow offended his master or if Zhai Feng had sensed his suspicions about his identity. He asked Zhai Feng where he had gone wrong. Zhai Feng answered, "Your mistake is thinking your journey has been too smooth and constantly comparing yourself to the rejects from the Safety Bureau. Even someone like Sun Deli is nothing special." To Lin Ma's surprise, Zhai Feng summoned 2 evil ghost-level ghosts, Ghost Maid and Ghost Judge. Their immense presence and oppressive aura made Lin Ma tremble. Zhai Feng continued, "People from the Safety Bureau are mere scraps discarded by the army. Even a private under my command could easily crush someone like Sun Deli. You are my disciple, Zhai Feng's disciple. You shouldn't be proud of defeating such trash. You carry a heavy burden, and if you want to improve, you must continually challenge stronger opponents and never be complacent." Zhai Feng was exceptionally stern. Lin Ma, realizing his earlier doubts about Zhai Feng were misplaced, felt ashamed. Zhai Feng wasn't trying to harm him, but was instead knocking him down a peg for becoming too arrogant too quickly. "Come, attack me with all your strength. Let's see what level you're really at," Zhai Feng challenged. "Master, you must be joking. I know you want to encourage me to grow, but sparring with a legend like the 8 Ghosts King is practically suicide for me. Your own 7th level Ghost Master strength could flick me away with a little finger." Zhai Feng then offered a compromise. "How about this? I'll suppress the strength of my contracted ghosts." As he spoke, his spiritual energy moved, and the towering figures of Ghost Judge and Ghost Maid shrank, becoming the size of Lin Ma's chainsaw ghost, reducing to malevolent spirit level strength. "And I will also suppress my spiritual energy, putting myself at a 2nd level Ghost Master. Now, it wouldn't be unfair to you, would it?" Lin Ma scratched his head and gave a sheepish smile. "Master, you're too kind, but now it seems like I'm bullying you with my 4 malevolent spirit ghosts." Zhai Feng chuckled. "You think you can look down on me? Let's see about that." Without further ado, Lin Ma leaped back to create distance and summoned his big-breasted ghost and chainsaw ghost. The chainsaw ghost, aggressive and swift, charged at Zhai Feng, while the big-breasted ghost played the Sanskrit sound claims life melody, sending pink sound waves in rapid succession. Zhai Feng, however, remained unfazed. With a light tap of his foot, he and his ghosts leaped back 10 meters, narrowly avoiding the sound waves. Lin Ma was astonished at Zhai Feng's precise movement and timing, perfectly evading his control technique. Nevertheless, Lin Ma persisted, controlling his ghosts to relentlessly pursue Zhai Feng, determined to bring him within their attack range. As the chase continued until the end of the big-breasted ghost's skill duration, Lin Ma and his ghosts were left gasping for breath, yet they hadn't even touched a hair on Zhai Feng. "Interesting. I like this challenge. Now, try this." Lin Ma then called forth his ghost martial actor and ghost leading lady, joining forces with the chainsaw ghost in a combined assault. "Go on, my minions. Attack with all you've got. Whoever hurts Zhai Feng gets a meaty reward tonight," Lin Ma shouted from the sidelines. Zhai Feng smirked at this approach. "Is this how you usually fight? Turning a ghost master battle into a chaotic street brawl?" The Ghost Maid and Ghost Judge sprang into action. Ghost Maid easily parried the ghost martial actor's strike with her side, while the chainsaw ghost seized the opportunity to attack the unprotected Zhai Feng. However, with a swift sweep of her side, Ghost Maid sent the chainsaw ghost flying. Lin Ma saw an opening and immediately commanded the ghost martial actor to launch a powerful triple slash attack. But just as the blade was about to hit, Ghost Judge swiftly pulled Ghost Maid back, narrowly avoiding the strike. The chainsaw ghost, recovering, lunged again towards Zhai Feng, but Ghost Judge's quick use of ghost energy sent it crashing into the ghost martial actor, both ghosts tumbling to the ground clumsily. Zhai Feng laughed. "I haven't even used my skills yet, and you're already in disarray. Your little tricks are nothing more than that. Now, watch closely and see what a real attack looks like." As soon as the words were spoken, Ghost Maid, wielding a scythe, swiftly charged towards Lin Ma. Lin Ma was instantly shocked and thought, "Damn, she's too fast." Though panicked inside, Lin Ma's actions were not slow. An ancient sword suddenly shot out from his hand, and he cried, "Sword, come forth." Clutching the sword hilt tightly, he twisted his waist and swung the sword in one fluid motion. In the blink of an eye, Ghost Maid quickly ducked, narrowly avoiding Lin Ma's attack. But behind him, Ghost Judge had silently approached. Lin Ma's heart sank, realizing that Ghost Maid's attack was just a diversion, and the real threat was the following attack from Ghost Judge. Blood Realm Illusion. Lin Ma's blood-red eyes rapidly moved, spreading an invisible power towards Ghost Judge. However, Ghost Judge closed his eyes and rendered Lin Ma's illusion ineffective. At that moment, Ghost Judge fiercely flung his judge's pen pen. The powerful force transformed the pen into a streak of light heading straight for Lin Ma, striking him heavily in the chest. The impact sent him flying and then crashing harshly to the ground. Lin Ma, holding his chest in pain, realized that this strike was clearly restrained by Zhai Feng. Otherwise, with Ghost Judge's strength, the judge's pen would have pierced through his chest. Zhai Feng looked down at Lin Ma with 10,000 shades of dissatisfaction and thought, with your current level, even the weakest soldier under my command could easily defeat you. Lin Ma pondered his own weakness. If his identity as Seal Demon grandson was confirmed, he wouldn't be facing the Safety Bureau but a direct military encirclement. With his current strength, he would be easily overpowered. Thinking this, a sharp light flashed in Lin Ma's eyes. He knew he must continuously train to protect his sister and his life. Lin Ma struck again with one sword to eliminate evil. The ancient sword, enveloped with the force of wind and thunder, fiercely slashed down. However, against Ghost Judge's agile movements, the attack was futile, and before Lin Ma could even retract his sword for defense, Ghost Judge struck down with his judge's pen, heavily hitting Lin Ma's sword-wielding hands. The intense pain made Lin Ma cry out miserably, and the ancient sword helplessly fell to the ground. Seeing Lin Ma attack, Chainsaw Ghost and Ghost Martial Actor, fiercely protective of their master, leapt up determined to chop Ghost Judge into 8 pieces. Ghost Judge, hearing the movement, swiftly turned and retreated, elegantly dodging and smoothly avoiding the attack once again. Lin Ma, feeling a mix of emotions, realized that he was too accustomed to easy victories. His 2 ghosts could hit a stationary target, but against an agile opponent like Ghost Judge with agility level 100, they couldn't even touch a hair. Since you're so good at dodging, I'll attack from multiple angles and see how you defend. Lin Ma then controlled 4 contracted ghosts, swarming towards Ghost Judge. But under Zhai Feng's nimble positioning and precise control, Lin Ma and his ghosts were like dogs being toyed with. After a minute, not only did they fail to inflict any damage, but they were also left exhausted and gasping on the ground. How embarrassing. If my sister Lin Qingyu knew about this, she'd die laughing. Lin Ma realized his attack methods were too simplistic, either using 2 assistants to throw control skills and then calling 2 warriors to slash once the enemy is caught, or just ganging up with 4 ghosts. Such tactics might work against the Safety Bureau's weaklings and low-level wild ghosts, but against an experienced and flexible ghost master, they were bound to be outclassed. What should I do? Zhai Feng, looking seriously at Lin Ma, asked, didn't you think you were quite powerful? How come you can't even touch the hem of my robe now? I know you have a high contract limit and strong learning talent, but as an excellent ghost master, do you think just leveling up your contracted ghosts is enough? If you neglect the most crucial aspect of coordination, 10 more years of practice will be in vain. And by coordination, I mean not just among contracted ghosts, but also between the ghost master and various ghosts, positioning, timing of attacks and defenses, and flexible use of offensive and control skills. You need to master all these. But you, my boy, have none of these skills. What are you bragging about? Lin Ma felt utterly humbled by Zhai Feng's words and quickly acknowledged his shortcomings, promising to practice diligently to master coordination. Seeing Lin Ma humbly accepting his advice, Zhai Feng felt very satisfied, smilingly stroking his goatee and thinking, this boy indeed has potential. The training continued as Lin Ma arranged his 4 contracted ghosts to stand at 4 different positions, encircling Ghost Judge and Ghost Maid. Lin Ma himself moved flexibly, looking for an opportunity to attack. After a few minutes of standoff, Lin Ma suddenly pushed off the ground with his right foot and leaped high into the air, with his sword held tightly, slashed down forcefully. Ghost Judge, watching Lin Ma in the air, showed a disdainful smile. Such an obvious flaw in his move. Is he asking for defeat? Then, with a light lift of his 2-meter-long legs, he easily kicked Lin Ma out of the air. Unwilling to give up, Lin Ma got up and, together with Chainsaw Ghost, launched a surprise attack on Ghost Maid. Before Lin Ma could even act, Ghost Maid's scythe hooked onto the chainsaw and effortlessly redirected it towards Lin Ma. As the cycle of attacks and failures continued, an hour passed. Lin Ma, covered in wounds, slowly got up from the ground with his sword, shouting again, and plunged back into battle. Nearby, 2 shapely girls were closely watching Lin Ma. Mu Wanqing, with her hand on her chin, was smiling broadly. Watching our junior brother's first beast training up close is really cool and interesting. And Ran, on the other hand, was worried. Is this what you call beast training? It looks more miserable than a circus animal. If this goes on, Lin Ma might fall apart. Mu Wanqing, hearing this, replied, oh, compared to the training we siblings went through, this is nothing. Our teacher used to kick us around like footballs. And Ran shuddered at the thought, wondering how brutal it must be to be Zhai Feng's disciple. Back in the training ground, Big-Breasted Ghost seized the opportunity when Ghost Judge was busy with Chainsaw Ghost. She launched a stealthy attack with a chord of music. However, the keen Ghost Judge sensed it and quickly dodged with a backward leap. As he landed, Lin Ma once again raised his sword for an aerial strike. Ghost Judge, with great agility and confidence, used his just-landed left foot to launch a powerful roundhouse kick, hitting Lin Ma on the left cheek. Lin Ma spat blood from his mouth, his body flying to the side, but he smiled slightly. Ghost Judge's hasty counterattack had left an opening. Ghost Martial Actor and Ghost Leading Lady immediately immediately sprang into action. Ghost leading lady began chanting a strong control skill. Ghost play, instantly immobilizing Ghost Judge. Ghost martial actor leaped high, his large sword aiming straight for Ghost Judge's neck. Not bad, there's some improvement, but you're still too inexperienced. Didn't you know I have interrupt skills? He quickly pointed his judge's pen at Ghost leading lady, and a burst of red ghost energy instantly disrupted her chant. Lin Ma, frustrated, climbed up from the ground, muttering, "Damn it." After all that planning, still foiled at the last moment. Mu Wanqing, watching the training, commented, "Junior brother is improving fast. In just under 2 hours, he's already got his contracted ghosts working together. It took me half a month to reach this level." Suddenly, a strong wave of dark energy approached, followed by a thunderous noise, as if an army was charging towards the training field. Leading the charge, a red-dressed female ghost yelled, "Who's this old man bullying my husband? Do you think my graveyard zone has no ghosts? Attack! Tear him to pieces for my drink." Bad news. A wild ghost group is attacking, Mu Wanqing said in a panic, preparing to summon her contracted ghosts, and Ran interrupted her. "Wait, look, they're not attacking Lin Ma, but focusing on the principal. Seems like they're targeting the teacher. If that's the case, it's fine. He can handle it, as long as junior brother isn't attacked." Relieved, Mu Wanqing watched as red-dressed female ghost and butcher ghost approached Zhai Feng, their hands gathering intense ghost energy, preparing for a major attack. Zhai Feng calmly faced the two ghosts. "You might be mistaken. We don't know each other. Why attack me?" Red-dressed female ghost was about to strike when Lin Ma grabbed her dress, saying, "Hey, stop. He's my teacher." Suddenly, perhaps due to Lin Ma's excessive force or the poor quality of the dress, the already scantily clad red-dressed female ghost was left exposed. "My husband, you're too hasty. In such a public place, I might get shy," she teased, and Ran, witnessing this, was furious. What is Lin Ma doing being so intimate with a female ghost? Meanwhile, Lin Ma heard a system prompt congratulating him on earning emotional collapse points, leaving him confused. "What's going on? I didn't do anything. How did I get these points?" The red-dressed female ghost smiled, blew a kiss to Lin Ma, and said, "Husband, I know you're worried, but let me teach this bully a lesson first. We can return to the ancient mansion for fun later." "That's not what I meant. Call off your minions. That old man is my teacher. We're in the middle of combat training." Lin Ma tried to clarify. "Okay, as my husband wishes. Hold your attacks. My husband says the old man is his master. That's family," the red-dressed female ghost commanded. The green corpse ghost and butcher ghost, ready to strike, looked back at her and, upon receiving her nod, disappointingly sheathed their weapons. Surrounded by ghosts in a bizarre situation, Zhai Feng was quite frustrated. "What the hell is going on? Kid, explain this to me." As Zhai Feng finished speaking, the red-dressed female ghost next to him roared again, "Old man, try being harsh to my husband and see what happens." Lin Ma quickly intervened and reassured Zhai Feng that these ghosts were friends who had misunderstood the situation, thinking Lin Ma was being bullied and had come to help. "Hubby, you don't need to explain so much to him. If you're unhappy here, come back to the ancient mansion with me for some fun." Lin Ma, feeling uncomfortable as the ghost moved closer, hastily excused himself, citing urgent matters, and asked her to leave first. The infatuated red-dressed female ghost, very obedient to Lin Ma, left with the other ghosts, though her longing gaze made Lin Ma somewhat uneasy. Zhai Feng's stern voice came from behind Lin Ma. "You're quite the charmer, attracting even female ghosts. Don't mess around too much and harm yourself. Focus on your training. You seem pretty relaxed. Let's add another ghost for you to spar with." Shield Ghost. The next moment, a huge shield descended from the sky, smashing the ground and nearly hitting Lin Ma, who couldn't help but complain, "Are you trying to kill me here?" No sooner had Lin Ma spoken than Shield Ghost turned around and punched him, sending him flying 10 meters away. Lin Ma defended with his arms, but the pain made it clear that Zhai Feng was not going easy on him. By midnight, Lin Ma was exhausted, lying powerlessly on the ground, gasping for air. "Not bad today. We'll continue tomorrow," Zhai Feng said, leaving the training ground, and quickly ran over to Lin Ma, her heart aching as she wiped him down with a handkerchief. "You did well," Mu Wanqing said with a smile. "Besides our eldest brother, you're the quickest learner I've seen." "Eldest brother? He must be quite something," Lin Ma replied. "Definitely. He's now being pursued by 7 countries. Impressive, right?" Lin Ma was taken aback. What did he do to have 7 countries after him? And what about our other brothers? Mu Wanqing looked calmly at Lin Ma and said, "Your second senior brother is an East Sea pirate. Third senior sister is a northern cult leader. Fourth senior sister rules a half-ghost demonic stronghold. Fifth and sixth senior brothers are the biggest smuggling lords in the southwest. Seventh senior sister is a renowned warlord in the north. And eighth senior brother is the top assassin of the Cold Wind Pavilion." Lin Ma was stunned, realizing that Zhai Feng had indeed trained an extraordinary group of disciples. "You don't need to be afraid," Mu Wanqing reassured. "Although they often oppose our master, they are quite amiable towards us fellow disciples." Lin Ma chuckled nervously. "Amiable? Somehow, I find that hard to believe." "Don't overthink it," Mu Wanqing advised. "Now, it's just the two of us with the master, so we must be obedient and not defy him." Lin Ma nodded slightly, understanding the implication in her words, and Ran, however, interjected coldly, "Lin Ma, don't you think you owe me an explanation about that female ghost earlier?" Lin Ma's heart heart skipped a beat, and he hastily put on a smile. Oh, that ghost. She's been following me since I entered the vine-covered ancient mansion to activate the sword ghost. I fainted, and when I woke up, she was there, clinging to me. I have no idea why. Don't insult my intelligence. Tell me honestly, what happened after you fainted? And Rand demanded. Lin Ma continued to feign ignorance. I was unconscious, so naturally, I don't know anything. Mu Wanqing gently tapped on Rand's shoulder, her face gleaming with amusement. Since you don't know what happened when you fainted, you must clearly remember what happened when you woke up, right, junior brother? Lin Ma, feeling trapped, began to sweat profusely. Speaking out could infuriate and Rand further, potentially leading to violent consequences. He clumsily tried to deflect. Well, you know, it's not like I can't tell, but it's just that kind of thing, you know, the usual stuff. His rambling left the two girls utterly confused. Finally, Lin Ma excused himself and swiftly headed to his dorm, leaving a baffled and Rand asking Mu Wanqing, senior sister, did you understand anything he said? Mu Wanqing shook her head. He talked a lot and seemed to make sense on the surface, but on closer examination, it was all nonsense. And Rand, realizing she had been sidetracked by Lin Ma, quickly snapped back to her original intent and angrily shouted in the direction Lin Ma had left. Lin Ma, come back and explain clearly. Lin Ma, already far away, turned back with a grin, pretending to misunderstand her. What did you say? Breakfast tomorrow? Of course, you should eat breakfast on an empty stomach for recovery. It's not breakfast if you're not hungry. And Rand, puzzled by his nonsensical logic, temporarily forgot her original question, wondering why eating on an empty stomach wouldn't be considered breakfast. Mu Wanqing, witnessing this, couldn't help but smile awkwardly at Lin Ma's talent for evasive answers, his quick wit. Half an hour later, Lin Ma finally arrived at his dormitory. As he opened the door, he was greeted by Black Little Fat, eagerly waiting for him. Why are you still up at this late hour? What's going on? Lin Ma brother, don't forget the exclusive teacher resources you promised me before entering the Ghost Domain trial. We're safe now, so it's time to deliver, right? Black Little Fat reminded him eagerly. Lin Ma, slightly exasperated but amused, conceded and sent the resources. Black Little Fat, with a stack of tissues ready, excitedly opened the folder, anticipating something entirely different. To his shock and dismay, the resources turned out to be actual web lectures from a teacher. Completely taken aback, he was momentarily petrified. Calm down, I sent you exactly what I said I would. It's genuinely a collection of teachers' lectures, Lin Ma responded, trying to defuse the situation. Enraged and disappointed, Black Little Fat couldn't contain his emotions and smashed his phone on the ground. This sudden outburst woke up Achio, who was sleeping soundly. Startled, Achio grabbed a nearby razor, ready for an attack. Seeing Black Little Fat on the ground, wailing and calling Lin Ma a liar, Achio sighed, unable to understand the overreaction to a video. Meanwhile, Lin Ma, in the bathroom, felt his account flooding with emotional collapse points and couldn't help but smile slyly at the chaos he'd inadvertently caused. The next day, Lin Ma went to the rooftop alone to upgrade his contracted ghosts. After dividing the spoils from the vast wave ghost domain, he had amassed a large number of ghost beads. In a frenzy of feeding, Chainsaw Ghost's level skyrocketed, advancing from a mid-level malevolent spirit to a low-level evil spirit. Feeling its newfound strength, the usually docile Chainsaw Ghost let out an excited howl, causing the windows of the entire building to tremble. A blonde-haired individual below shouted angrily, "What the hell is with this ghostly howling in the middle of the day? Can't you let people sleep?" Lin Ma apologized, explaining that he had just promised Chainsaw Ghost an extra meal, and it got a bit overexcited. The blonde-haired person, upon seeing Chainsaw Ghost's towering figure, quickly retreated into the dormitory, saying it was no trouble at all. Lin Ma, seeing this reaction, smiled to himself, knowing that strength indeed commands respect. He gently patted Chainsaw Ghost on the shoulder to calm it down, reminding it that there was still a long journey ahead. Lin Ma used the massive points he acquired from Black Little Fat to unlock Chainsaw Ghost's third skill, Violent Dismemberment. This passive ability allows Chainsaw Ghost to continuously weaken an enemy's armor by up 30% during attacks. This was timely, especially against ghosts with high defenses like the Frozen-to-Death Ghost. The system then notified Lin Ma that Chainsaw Ghost's loyalty had reached 99%, making it a permanent contracted ghost. Chainsaw Ghost was utterly satisfied with its daily meat and the exponential growth in power under Lin Ma's care. Next, Lin Ma focused on strengthening Sword Ghost, which had once been at Ghost King level. After devouring high-level ghost beads, Sword Ghost also advanced to a low-level evil spirit. Lin Ma's arm, which wielded the sword, underwent a transformation, its skin cracking and taking on a terrifying appearance. He anticipated that once Sword Ghost reached Ghost King level, his arms would once again bear the ghostly skeletal hands with flickering ghost fires. Lin Ma then unlocked Sword Ghost's third skill, One Sword Journey. Intrigued by the powerful name, he examined its effects. The wielder leaves a ghost shadow in place while the body and sword dash forward at double speed, enjoying 95% damage immunity during the skill's duration. Then returning to the ghost shadow's location, Lin Ma was impressed by the skill's explosive potential for stealth attacks and dodging fatal blows. Although it consumed a significant amount of spiritual energy, he decided to reserve it as a trump card. After upgrading remaining 2 ghosts. Lin Ma's stockpile of ghost beads had nearly depleted, so he decided to pause further enhancements. As evening approached, Lin Ma returned to the training ground for another intense session with Zhai Feng. "Kid, you don't have much time left," Zhai Feng warned sternly. "You need to push harder, or you'll be in grave danger." Confused, Lin Ma looked at Zhai Feng's serious expression. "What's going on? Did I offend someone powerful again?" Zhai Feng, seeing Lin Ma's puzzled face, shook his head and lit a cigarette. "The Zhou Kingdom has reached a ceasefire agreement with the North. Soon, the Safety Bureau will be taken over by the military, who are 10 times more capable than the Safety Bureau. Your identity is likely to be exposed soon." With a frown, Zhai Feng took a deep drag. "It's not just about whether you can stand up to the military. The most basic thing is that you need to have the ability to protect yourself. That's why this period is critical. Master, please intensify my training. Let's start with 4 contracted ghosts today, and don't hold back on their levels. After all, the military won't go easy on me," Lin Ma requested. Zhai Feng smiled at Lin Ma's determination. "If you're willing to endure hardship, fate will reward you." He then summoned several ghosts to his side with a swift motion of his hand. Lin Ma, prepared and determined, charged at Zhai Feng with his ghost sword and 4 contracted ghosts. Thanks to the previous day's training, Lin Ma's attack efficiency had greatly improved. The upgraded chainsaw ghost engaged fiercely with Ghost Judge, while big-breasted ghost used her ranged attacks and control skills to kite effectively. Ghost martial actor and ghost leading lady, though not as high-level, demonstrated remarkable synergy from centuries of partnership. Lin Ma, with his ghost sword, weaved through the battlefield, seizing opportunities for surprise attacks and rescues. The battle progressed with well-coordinated skill combinations and smooth transitions between offense and defense. Watching Lin Ma's rapidly improving skills, Zhai Feng was very pleased. However, to prevent Lin Ma from becoming complacent, he continued to point out flaws and areas for improvement. Zhai Feng quickly commanded the ghost to launch an attack. An arrow filled with ghost energy shot through the air towards Lin Ma. Simultaneously, Ghost Judge and Shield Ghost, under Zhai Feng's control, broke away from their opponents and flanked Lin Ma from both sides. In such a situation, retreating would be suicidal, as no ordinary person could outrun an arrow. Lin Ma quickly calculated his options and decided to face the challenge head-on. Accelerating forward, he charged directly towards the incoming arrow. Just as the arrow was about to hit him, Lin Ma activated Sword Ghost's 3rd skill, One Sword Journey. With the high-speed boost of the skill, Lin Ma's body rapidly moved aside, and with a powerful swing of his ancient sword, he split the deadly arrow in 2. Zhai Feng was astounded by Lin Ma's maneuver. This kid is something else. In less than half a month, he's managed to activate all 3 skills of the Sword Ghost. His talent might have already surpassed that of his eldest senior brother. Taking advantage of the effects of One Sword Journey, Lin Ma swiftly approached Zhai Feng, planning to capture the leader to defeat the enemy. He activated Blood Curse, his right blood red eye rapidly rotating as invisible force poured out. Lin Ma then increased his speed even more, becoming a blur as he charged directly at Zhai Feng. However, Zhai Feng, as the legendary 8 Ghosts King with abundant combat experience, was not easily caught off guard. Just before Lin Ma activated Blood Curse, Zhai Feng had already summoned the Blood Knight Ghost. The ghost embraced Zhai Feng and activated its skill Instant Splendor, an extreme teleportation ability, instantly moving Zhai Feng backwards, rendering Lin Ma's Blood Curse and sword attack ineffective. Although Lin Ma didn't manage to hit Zhai Feng, forcing him to summon another contracted ghost was a significant achievement. Suddenly, Shield Ghost appeared behind Lin Ma, smashing its shield towards him. Lin Ma instantly returned to his Ghost Shadow's position, narrowly evading Shield Ghost's surprise attack. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. 3 arrows from the Soul Arrow Ghost tore through the air, seemingly anticipating Lin Ma's return to his original position. It appeared to be a premeditated move by Zhai Feng, but Lin Ma was one step ahead. Chainsaw Ghost positioned itself in front of Lin Ma at the same time, using its large chainsaw to deflect all 3 arrows. The battle was far from over. Lin Ma quickly regrouped and directed his contracted ghosts to launch another attack. Zhai Feng, your disciple is quite extraordinary. He deliberately exposed a flaw to bait your attack, and now he's already set up a contingency to counter your ambush, Blood Knight Ghost remarked. After listening to Blood Knight Ghost's words, Zhai Feng fell into silence. As for the limit of the contract, he is no less than you, the 8 Ghosts King. In terms of skill activation speed, he definitely surpasses your most prized disciple. In terms of ferocity and ruthlessness, he's not inferior to your 8th disciple. And in cunning, he's even better than your 2nd disciple. Zhai Feng, you really have a knack for taking disciples. You've taken another exceptional one. Only that girl Mu Wanqing seems somewhat normal. Good disciple, are you implying I'm not? Zhai Feng chuckled to himself. Truth be told, this kid is indeed a once-in-a-century talent, but combat experience isn't something you're born with. He still needs to train more. Blood Knight Ghost, seeing the potential in Lin Ma, decided to join the fray, teleporting behind Lin Ma with its skill Instant Splendor. Lin Ma sensed its approach and quickly retreated. Quick reflexes. Kid, can you handle more? I might join in for some practice. Blood Knight Ghost taunted. Lin Ma, facing Blood Knight Ghost with a determined look, responded confidently. This intensity is just a breeze for me. Don't hold pulled back. Blood Knight Ghost, amused by Lin Ma's bravado, launched into action, kicking Lin Ma into the air. While Lin Ma was airborne, Blood Knight Ghost unleashed a powerful attack, conjuring thousands of blood-red blades. Under Blood Knight Ghost's control, thousands of blades precisely targeted the defenseless Lin Ma. Then, they swiftly launched an assault towards him. Lin Ma, suspended in the air, became a living target, helplessly subjected to the relentless slicing of the blood blades. Shai Feng had moderated the force, or else Lin Ma would have been severely injured. As Lin Ma fell heavily, Big-Breasted Ghost, protective of her master, used a skill to immobilize Ghost Maid and rushed to catch Lin Ma. Bruised and battered, Lin Ma analyzed his shortcomings, realizing his command over the contracted ghosts needed improvement. Training continues. Lin Ma shouted to Shai Feng. Under such intense training, Lin Ma's abilities were rapidly improving. Exhausted, he eventually collapsed on a grave mound late into the night. Shai Feng approached, smoking a cigarette beside the mound. "You did well today," he commended. Lin Ma, looking up at Shai Feng with expectation, asked, "Master, can I now take on your soldiers?" Shai Feng smiled. "You're already formidable, Lin Ma. 3 to 5 soldiers wouldn't stand a chance against you." He then took another drag of his cigarette, coughing in the chilly night air. "Master, you're not getting any younger, and smoking too much isn't good for your health. You should cut down," Lin Ma advised with concern. Although Shai Feng appeared formidable in battle, once he sat down, his exhaustion as an old man became evident. With a wry smile, Shai Feng listened to Lin Ma's words, and then shook his head. "I'm indeed old now. This is my only remaining concern." Seeing Shai Feng's kind eyes and recalling his sincere guidance over the past few days, Lin Ma found it hard to associate him with the cold-blooded war general who had once led the army into Seal Demon Country, leaving a trail of destruction and plunder. "I heard you were the commander of the army back then. Is that true?" Shai Feng's expression froze momentarily upon hearing this. "So, it has finally come up." Shai Feng mused silently, his mind drifting back to those days. The burning cigarette end abruptly pulled him back from his memories. "Yes, I know what you want to ask. I'll tell you everything today. Back then, I was the deputy commander. After that battle, I was promoted to commander." In a soft voice, Lin Ma inquired, "The progression of the world and conflicts between nations are inevitable. But did you really engage in burning, killing, and looting?" After a moment of silence, Shai Feng admitted, "Indeed, we did. And the orders were given by the commander of the Allied forces, my senior fellow disciple." Lin Ma felt immense sorrow. He couldn't bear to imagine what his people had endured. A fire of revenge burned in his eyes. Shai Feng, noticing the turmoil in Lin Ma, quickly advised him against acting rashly. He was still too weak, Shai Feng cautioned, and only when he attained the strength of a 7th-level ghost master would he stand a chance at revenge. Lin Ma knew Shai Feng spoke the truth, so he forcibly calmed his agitated mind. His desire to increase his strength grew even stronger. With a slight bow of his head, Shai Feng said, "Kid, this battle is also an eternal knot in my heart. I'm often awakened by nightmares. How I wish I had never participated in that war." Seal Demon Country was a peace-loving nation, situated in a southwest valley with a pleasant climate and fertile land, coveted by Zhou Country. To justify their invasion, they spread rumors that Seal Demon was colluding with evil spirits from beyond and about to open the southwest barrier, allowing numerous evil spirits to enter. These allegations caused widespread dissatisfaction and opposition. Seizing the opportunity, the Zhou Country proposed helping Seal Demon under the guise of protection. Shai Feng, believing these lies, led his troops to join the Allied forces. Only later did he realize it was all a cunning plot by the Zhou Country. Far from colluding with evil spirits, Seal Demon had actually sent many high-ranking ghost masters to reinforce the barrier against the evil spirits' invasion. Lin Ma, with a soul-searching question, asked, "Knowing the truth, why did you continue to slaughter the innocent citizens and burn their homes?" "There was no choice," Shai Feng explained. "In that war, the Zhou Country used others as cannon fodder while preserving their own strength. By the time everyone realized the truth, it was too late to stop their atrocities. However, their actions sparked public outrage, and under intense criticism, they refrained from completely annihilating Seal Demon. Still, the over 100,000 survivors didn't have an easy life. They were relocated to the outskirts of various cities, where resources were scarce. Moreover, when the waves of ghosts attacked, it was the people of Seal Demon who bore the brunt. This is just using the people as a human shield," Lin Ma said angrily, punching the ground, his eyes blazing red. "My people are suffering like this, and as the grandson of Seal Demon's ruler, I'm powerless to help them. You must be aware of your own identity, so you are bound to learn about this sooner or later. Since you've asked today, I'll tell you everything. If you want to take revenge on me, go ahead. I won't blame you. Weren't you unwilling to be part of that corruption and left the army to start a school in this remote place? You've saved me multiple times and even took me as your disciple. Is this your way of atoning for your past sins?" Sigh. "You could say that. What else could I do? You never approved of that war from the beginning, so it's not entirely your fault. The blame lies with certain people in that Zhou Country. They are the real culprits. I will make them pay for their crimes in blood," Lin Ma said determinedly, leaping off a grave mound. "Master, let's continue our beast training as usual tomorrow," Lin Ma said, rubbing his sore arm, and turned to walk towards the dormitory. Watching Lin Ma's retreating figure, Shai Feng murmured. This kid has a clear sense of right and wrong and a strong sense of responsibility. It seems the people of Seal Demon might still have hope. Several days later, due to the successful signing of the ceasefire agreement, the military of Zhou country had fully returned to their defensive positions, stationed in various provinces. The Safety Bureau's operations were completely taken over by the military, which immediately began clearing up ghost domains in the provinces. Places like the Vast Wave Ghost Domain, a central gathering spot for groups of ghosts, naturally became a key focus for the military. For the stray spirits and wild ghosts in the surrounding areas, the military outsourced these as paid tasks to various schools. At this point, Shai Feng, standing on the podium, had been discussing the benefits of these tasks for half a day, but the students below were completely silent. Watching Shai Feng, who was spitting words excitedly, a young man couldn't help but raise his hand. Shai Feng's eyes lit up. My student, would you like to take on a task? We're not interested in your lousy task. You've been dragging on for half an hour. Can you let us leave the class now? Shai Feng, frustrated, said. Did you even understand what I said? It's just about cleaning up some wild ghosts in the suburbs. Not only can you get ghost pearls, but you can also appear on TV and receive commendations. Lin Ma, sitting in his seat, looked at Achio next to him, who nodded in understanding. It's better that these fools don't take it. We'll monopolize this lucrative deal in our dormitory. Then Lin Ma raised his right hand high, indicating his desire to apply for the task. It's my own apprentice who gives face. Otherwise, how awkward this scene would have been, thought Shai Feng, who immediately announced, after intense competition, this task is awarded to Lin Ma and Achio, and hurriedly ended the class. After having dinner, Lin Ma and Achio received the task booklet, but frowned upon seeing the allocation of resources. President, the tasks we are responsible for are too trashy. They're just the lowest level of fierce ghosts, incomparable to those at Snow Phoenix Academy. Our school is just a college. It's good enough to have tasks. You guys are still being picky. Besides, if you think their tasks are better, you can join in the fun. After all, rules are dead, but people are alive. Lin Ma realized there was a deeper meaning to these words and quickly asked Shai Feng, President, are you suggesting we can snatch tasks? Snatch what? Did I say that? Interpret the meaning yourself, Shai Feng said, blinking at Lin Ma. Lin Ma immediately understood, and after exchanging a look with Achio, who nodded and smiled, they fist bumped in silent agreement. Since this operation would involve competing with other schools, Lin Ma thought of finding allies and remembered Ran, a girl full of cunning ideas and strong in her own right. Upon arriving at the library, Lin Ma looked around and spotted Ran engrossed in a book, sunlight casting a delicate shadow on her face, drawing the covert gazes of passing boys. Do you love hanging out in the library so much? I didn't expect you to be such a studious student. Lin Ma walked over and sat down next to Ran. The books here are free. I'm reading as much as I can while it's still free. Once we're out, there's no chance to read like this. Go out, but the Safety Bureau is still after you. Isn't it dangerous to just go out? Lin Ma knew very well that although Shai Feng and Mu Wanqing were kind to Ran, her strong heart, forged from a life of constant upheaval, would never enjoy living under someone else's roof. Seeing Lin Ma hesitant to speak, Ran stretched lazily, revealing her figure effortlessly. You don't need to worry about me. I know exactly how the Safety Bureau operates, and they definitely won't catch me. Besides, I have important business this time. I'm planning a big heist, she said, leaning closer to Lin Ma, her fragrance making him blush instantly. Wu Kun found out that the Safety Bureau is transporting some materials to Coastal City in the next few days. I plan to hijack it. Lin Ma was stunned, and Ran was indeed a tough character, daring to rob the Safety Bureau. Compared to her, his own endeavors seemed trivial. Seeing Lin Ma's shocked expression, Ran mentioned that this was what Gao Longshan owed her, and she had to get her debts back. When I strike it rich, I'll share some with you, she said. It seemed inviting her to catch ghosts was out of the question. She was playing on a much larger scale. Can you three handle it? Wu Kun is almost useless, and the driver's ghost has no combat ability. It's almost all on you, isn't it? Maybe I should also. Before Lin Ma could finish, Ran placed her finger on his lips. Don't. I can't let you go to the Safety Bureau. They're just looking for a reason to catch you. If you go, you'll be walking right into their trap. And don't worry about me. I'm not as weak as you think. Look, I've been studying formations, and I've already mastered the basics. I can create simple formations, and once I learn more advanced ones, you might not even be my match. These formations, even university students struggle with them under teachers' guidance. Are you sure you can learn just by reading books? What others find difficult doesn't mean I will. I'm a genius, but these formation books are so expensive, costing tens of thousands each, so I can only come here to the library for free access. That's an easy problem to solve. I'm a student at Ares Academy. Consider the books as borrowed by me. You can just take them and read. Ha, right. Why didn't I think of that? And Ran burst into hearty laughter. After the incident with the exclusive teacher resource, Black Little Fat firmly refused to go, but the school beauty senior agreed to join them. Having set a meeting point, Lin Ma and Achio set off early. However, halfway through their journey, a torrential downpour drenched them completely. Spotting a house ahead, Lin Ma used his blood pupil's long-range vision to spot a dark mansion in the rain. Looks like that's Gathering Pavilion, Achio said, his expression turning unnatural after after a closer look. I've seen it before while wandering with my father. It's a place for storing the dead. Lin Ma laughed. Who cares? Staying there is better than getting soaked. If any foolish ghost dares to provoke us, we'll just treat it as a chance to collect ghost pearls. They headed straight for the building. Dark energy is strong in here. You sure we should stay? Ah Cho asked as Lin Ma pushed open the wooden door. Inside, a large offering character hung in the hall, with candles casting an eerie red light. The room was lined with bodies wrapped in straw mats, creating an indescribable eeriness. You've disturbed my guests. A hoarse voice came from behind them, making Lin Ma and Ah Cho's skin crawl. Turning around, they saw an old woman with a walking stick slowly entering the hall. These are my customers. You've rudely intruded. I know what you want, but this place is for the dead, not the living. So, leave immediately. Seeing the old woman's angry face, Lin Ma quickly agreed to leave. Wait, are you the descendant of the barber? The old woman suddenly asked Ah Cho. Yes, ma'am. Is there something you need? Ah Cho asked, turning around curiously. The old woman's face brightened with a smile. She said she'd let them stay overnight if Ah Cho agreed to shave the heads of her guests. What? Shaving the heads of the dead? Ah Cho was bewildered. He had been shaving for years, but had never encountered such a request. Lin Ma urged him to agree, as getting soaked in the rain was unpleasant. Looking at the dark, cloudy sky, Ah Cho agreed to the old woman's request. Why do I need to shave the heads of the dead? Ah Cho muttered while working with his razor. That's none of your concern. Just get on with it. The whole house full of guests is waiting, the old woman replied. Feeling the foul stench emanating from the corpses, Ah Cho was internally complaining. If it weren't for this damn downpour, I wouldn't be doing this disgusting job. Suddenly, with a ripping sound, Ah Cho accidentally tore the scalp of a corpse. Unsure how to proceed, he turned to seek Lin Ma's help, but Lin Ma was busy chatting with Mu Wanqing on his phone, even sharing photos of Ah Cho shaving the corpses, causing Mu Wanqing to freak out as she was eating barbecue and subsequently receiving a hefty 100 emotional collapse points. Just as Ah Cho was about to shave the next corpse, he realized it was already bald. Do I still need to shave this one? He asked the old woman. Absolutely. My intention for having you shave heads is to remove the corpse hair from the top of our guests' heads. It must be completely clean, the old woman insisted. Ah Cho sighed in resignation. Be thorough with your work, young man. Every guest must be taken care of, the old woman said as she slowly walked to the back of the house. Ah Cho, don't be too honest. Just deal with a few and call it done. They're all bald anyway. No one will notice, Lin Ma suggested. Suddenly, a knocking sound echoed through the empty gathering pavilion. Most of the coffins began to shake. What the hell is going on? Don't tell me the corpses are coming back to life, Lin Ma exclaimed loudly. Ah Cho remained silent, his face stern. He noticed that the shaking coffins were the ones he had just shaved. As the shaking intensified, coffin lids were flung open one after another, and rotten bodies stood up, their hollow eyes glowing green. The well-informed blood-pupiled ghost explained. They must be zombies controlled by a corpse-raising ghost. Corpse-raising ghosts are a rare type of ghost. Corpse-raising ghost is also a kind of rare ghost. He nurtures a wisp of ghost energy in a corpse. The corpse in which he resides will grow 49 corpse hairs on its head. When all the hairs naturally fall off or are cut by a razor imbued with bright energy, the corpse-raising ghost can control them. Lin Ma's eyes lit up. This is an exciting prospect. If we could contract a corpse-raising ghost, it would be like having an army of zombies. Blood pupil. Could the old woman be the corpse-raising ghost? But I didn't sense any ghost energy from her. Lin Ma wondered aloud. She's just an ordinary person. Corpse-raising ghosts usually operate from behind the scenes. This old lady must be under its control. So, the corpse-raising ghost is likely nearby. Lin Ma activated the penetrating ability of his blood pupil to search for the corpse-raising ghost's trace inside the pavilion. He spotted two blurry figures in the backyard. One was floating in the air, and the old woman was nodding and bowing in front of it, seemingly in conversation. Without hesitation, Lin Ma dashed towards the backyard and kicked open the tightly shut yard door. Why are you in the backyard? Do you still want to stay overnight? The old woman scolded Lin Ma and his companion upon their intrusion. Corpse-raising ghost, stop hiding. I saw you. Come out. Lin Ma called out, but receiving no response, he summoned the chainsaw ghost and ghost martial actor. You won't show yourself, huh? Then I'll chop up all the corpses you've raised. Chainsaw ghost, upon receiving the order, revved up its chainsaw and swiftly sliced the freshly shaved zombies into pieces, while ghost martial actor started working on the unopened coffins. The old woman's face turned pale with fear. You've destroyed his treasures. He's definitely going to trouble you. Let him come. I'm waiting for him, Lin Ma confidently declared. As he finished speaking, a series of blood-red talismans appeared on the ground of the backyard. With a slight tremor, dry ghost hands broke through the soil, and the emerging zombies let out a howl as they charged towards Lin Ma and his companions. We're in big trouble now. This ghost thing is going berserk, the old woman cried in fear. This guy has a lot of stock. He usually keeps the raised corpses in a corpse bag and releases them at crucial moments to attack. The zombies, with their eyes glowing green, swarmed towards Lin Ma. Despite their large numbers and being only at the level of fierce ghosts, Lin Ma didn't see them as a threat and chopped them in two with his sword. Be careful. Their blood contains corpse poison. Blood-pupiled ghost shouted a warning. Corpse poison? Lin Ma immediately dodged to avoid avoid the spurting green bodily fluid. Yes, although the zombies are weak in combat, their nails, teeth, and blood are poisonous. You absolutely can't come into contact with them. This is going to be tricky. There are so many zombies. Although we can hold on for a while, as our physical strength declines and reactions slow down, there's a high chance of getting poisoned. To effectively deal with the horde of zombies, Lin Ma knew they had to find the corpse-raising ghost quickly. He kicked away a zombie lunging at him and shouted, "That guy must be hiding somewhere well concealed. I'll climb up high to see if I can spot him." Ah Cho leaped up onto the surrounding wall, but was stunned by what he saw. The area outside was swarming with zombies, completely surrounding the pavilion, making it impossible to search for the target. If we can't find him, we'll have to force him out, Lin Ma decided, and grabbed the old woman, demanding, "Tell us where the corpse-raising ghost is, or we'll all be torn apart by these zombies." "I really don't know. That evil ghost took my grandson and made me shelter corpses here in Gathering Pavilion. He's always been very secretive, quickly leaving after nurturing the corpses," the old woman replied, adding to Lin Ma's frustration. Pushing her aside, Lin Ma looked at the advancing zombies, sensing something was off. Then it hit him. The corpse-raising ghost started its counterattack when a ghost martial actor began destroying the coffins. He highly valued those nearly nurtured corpses. This could be the key to their current dilemma. Lin Ma turned to the old woman. "Quick, tell me where the corpse-raising ghost is storing the unfinished corpses," he demanded, pointing his sword at her neck. "My grandson is still in that ghost's clutches. If I tell you, he'll surely be killed." She hesitated. "How can you be so naive to believe that ghost's lies? Tell me the location, and we might even be able to save your grandson," Lin Ma urged. Feeling the chill from Lin Ma's ancient sword and thinking of her grandson's uncertain fate, the old woman finally made a decision. "In the basement next door, there are hundreds of bodies. None of them have had their corpse hair shaved yet. They're all his treasures." Hearing this, Lin Ma immediately headed towards the basement, but the zombies blocking the way were too numerous, preventing him from moving forward. "I'll clear a path with Shadow Ghost. Just focus on moving forward," Ah Cho said, releasing the scythe-wielding Shadow Ghost from his left arm. The ghost lunged at the zombies in front of Lin Ma. "Then I'll leave this to you. Be careful not to get infected by the corpse poison," Lin Ma said, then dashed towards the basement without looking back. Meanwhile, Ah Cho tightly gripped his razor, working in tandem with Shadow Ghost to repel the oncoming zombies. As Lin Ma pulled open the door to the basement, he was immediately hit by a strong, foul stench. The room was filled with corpses, confirming the old woman's words. Holding his nose, Lin Ma asked, "Blood pupil, these unfinished corpses don't have poison, right? They haven't transformed into zombies yet. You can cut them down without worry." With a relieved nod, Lin Ma started swinging his ancient sword, unleashing swift and powerful sword energies that sliced the corpses into pieces. The emotional collapse system in his mind beeped, indicating that the corpse-raising ghost's emotional collapse had reached 20%, with 79% more needed to directly sign a contract. Laughing, Lin Ma thought, "Let's see how long this corpse-raising ghost can hold out." Although the corpses didn't fight back, their sheer number was overwhelming. After chopping through them like slicing vegetables, Lin Ma was sweating profusely. The basement had 3 levels, and the exhausting task continued. The system indicated the corpse-raising ghost's emotional collapse had reached 80%, only 19% away from a direct contract. Excited, Lin Ma thought, "Just a little more and I can contract it." Meanwhile, in a cave not far from Gathering Pavilion, the corpse-raising ghost, feeling its ghost energy dissipating from the corpses, was frantic. "Who the hell is doing this? My years of carefully nurtured top-quality goods are being destroyed in an instant." In a fit of rage, the ghost grabbed a nearby boy. "Damned old woman, betraying me like this? Seems like you don't care about your grandson's life. Don't blame me for being ruthless. Blame your cold-blooded grandmother for not keeping my secret." Just as the corpse-raising ghost was about to tighten its grip, the clear voice of Lin Ma's emotional collapse system rang out. "Mr. Corpse-raising Ghost, congratulations on joining the Lucky Quiz event. Answer correctly, and you'll have the chance to become Lin Ma's contracted ghost." "Go fuck yourself. Can't you see I'm furious?" the corpse-raising ghost yelled angrily. "Oh, impressive. You're quick to respond. Contract signing in progress." As the emotional collapse system took effect, the corpse-raising ghost's body gradually became transparent. Feeling the change, it was completely bewildered. What the hell is happening? In the next instant, the young boy in the corpse-raising ghost's hands clattered to the ground as the ghost itself transformed into a stream of brown light, shooting straight towards the Gathering Pavilion. "This is just outrageous. I didn't even get to see the person, and I'm already contracted," it complained. As the brown light merged into Lin Ma's left arm, a red corpse character slowly appeared on his skin. Meanwhile, the battle on the ground changed. The zombies rushing towards Ah Cho suddenly slowed down and then stopped in front of him, looking bewildered. Ah Cho breathed a sigh of relief, realizing Lin Ma must have succeeded. Lin Ma, still in the basement and looking at the dense array of contract marks on his arm, felt triumphant. "I've caught a group fighter this time. Next time someone wants to outnumber me, I'll teach them a lesson." Summoning the corpse-raising ghost, Lin Ma saw a figure in a Taoist robe and a celestial master's hat materialize. The ghost was furious. "You little rascal, couldn't we have negotiated a contract properly? You just went and destroyed so many of my carefully nurtured corpses. Do you have any idea how much effort I put into them? Lin Ma ignored the ghost's complaints, more interested in its attributes. The corpse-raising ghost, although just a lower-level malevolent spirit, had a significant number of zombies in its corpse bag. I've heard that other corpse-raising ghosts having a few hundred zombies is impressive, but you have over 1,000. Seems like you're quite dedicated, Lin Ma commented. If you hadn't recklessly destroyed so many of my corpses, in another 10 days or half a month, I could have controlled over 2,000 zombies. Maybe I would have even set a new ghost world record. The ghost grumbled. Don't be hasty. Although I destroyed 2 floors, I left you with quite a few. But what use are they? It takes at least half a year for a single strand of corpse hair to fall off. It'll take ages for me now. Joining me, you won't lose out. The issue you're talking about is trivial for me. My classmate has a razor that can shave off corpse hair in minutes. This perked up the corpse-raising ghost. Really? In our current relationship, would I lie to you? Ah Chio, lend me your razor, Lin Ma called out. Though confused by Lin Ma's scheme, Ah Chio still handed over his razor to Ghost Martial Actor, who then delivered it to Lin Ma. Ghost Martial Actor, you're just in time. You're more skilled with a blade than I am. Today, play the role of Tony the Barber and shave off the corpse hair on these bodies with this razor. Although Ghost Martial Actor was adept at slaying ghosts, this meticulous task of shaving was new to him. Lin Ma assured him there was no need to be careful and that he could just cut off the scalp along with the hair. Ghost Martial Actor nodded and set to work, skillfully shaving off hair and skin from the numerous corpses. Corpse-raising ghost was pleased with the outcome, and its loyalty increased by 9%. To build a zombie army, corpse sources are key. Don't worry, there's no shortage of corpses around Ares Academy. 10,000 hectares of desolate graves around. There are more bodies than you could count. That won't work. The ghosts there are ferocious. Last time I just took one body, and a bunch of ghosts chased me for 3 kilometers. I barely escaped. Lin Ma assured him that the area was now under the control of red-dressed female ghost, who had a special relationship with him. The corpse-raising ghost was delighted to hear this. Soon after, Ghost Martial Actor reported that he had finished shaving all the corpses. The corpse-raising ghost quickly used a spell, and his large black bag expanded, sucking in all the bodies in the room. The bag, now heavy with the absorbed bodies, thumped heavily on the ground. The corpse-raising ghost announced that once the corpses were fully processed, they would become real zombies. Lin Ma then activated the corpse control skill of the corpse-raising ghost, which, with his dual master ghost spiritual energy limit, meant he could instantly summon thousands of zombies in battle. The corpse-raising ghost's second skill, zombie self-destruct, was also impressive, dealing area damage and infecting targets with corpse poison. The old woman approached Lin Ma, grateful for his intervention, and asked about her grandson. Lin Ma reassured her that her grandson was safe in a cave on the opposite mountain. Exhausted from the night's events, Lin Ma and Ah Chio found a dry spot in the gathering pavilion and lay down to rest. The next day, Lin Ma and Ah Chio followed corpse-raising ghost along a small path to the river and caught the first ferry. Preferring the fresh air, they stood by the ferry's railing, where they overheard people discussing a series of deaths at a swimming pool, the very destination of Lin Ma's task. A total of 12 people died this month, including police officers and safety bureau agents who went to investigate. I'm sure this isn't a human's doing. It's 100% an evil spirit, a brown-haired young man narrated dramatically. Lin Ma's curiosity was piqued by the young man's tale. Bro, are you serious? I heard that swimming pool has lots of beautiful girls. I was planning to have some fun there. You better not go. My aunt is a lifeguard there. She witnessed 3 men dying in the water. It's terrifying even to talk about it. Drowned? But if your aunt is a lifeguard, why didn't she save them? The young man shook his head. Save them? There was this long hair that mysteriously appeared in the pool, and those 3 guys were strangled by it. They were dead before anyone could do anything. Strangled by hair? Could it be a hair ghost in the swimming pool? Lin Ma wondered aloud. The young man laughed. You must not have studied well in school. There's no such thing as a hair ghost in basic ghost taxonomy. Based on my experience, it's probably some kind of deeply resentful female ghost. Lin Ma raised doubts. Is your experience reliable? After all, men can also have long hair. This could just be a cross-dressing spirit. No way. The ghost in this swimming pool is definitely a female ghost. I checked. In the 12 cases that occurred here, all the victims were male. Have you ever seen a ghost that only kills men? This clearly indicates a deeply resentful female ghost, only killing men. That's a bit tricky. After all, both Ah Chio and I are real men. Lin Ma casually rolled up his sleeves as he spoke, revealing several significant marks on his left arm that shocked the brown-haired man. Holy moly, where did you come from? Great one. 7 contracted ghosts in you? Damn, that's intense. Intense? It's just a single-digit number of contracted ghosts, Lin Ma said nonchalantly. Don't joke with me, big brother. Ever since the Ghost Masters began, having more than 2 digits of contracted ghosts is incredibly rare. You're a once-in-a-century genius. The brown-haired man, knowing Lin Ma's boundless potential, immediately put on a smile and approached to make friends. I'm Luo Cheng from Star Picking Academy. From today on, you're my only big brother. Lin Ma was quite pleased with this flattery. He smiled and said, I'm Lin Ma from Ares Academy. So you're the legend who broke the ghost domain trial record. I'm so fortunate to meet you. A great one. Luo Cheng Cheng continued his flattery, making Lin Ma's smile grow wider. After a half-hour journey, the ferry finally reached the shore. Lin Ma and Ah Qiu mentioned they had urgent matters and said goodbye to Luo Cheng. Luo Cheng, having enjoyed his time with Lin Ma, was reluctant to part. He told Lin Ma he was off to handle a task at the crematorium and hoped Lin Ma would come to help after he was done. The ones at the crematorium seemed to be high-level wicked spirits. Should we rush to take on this task? Ah Qiu asked Lin Ma. We definitely should, but let's first handle the swimming pool situation. Speaking of the pool, Luo Cheng said the ghost there only targets men. That's a bit tricky. Right now, only girls dare to go in. If we just barge in, we'll be too obvious. Plus, we don't know the fighting power of this unknown wicked spirit. We're not guaranteed to win. We must think of a solution. After a few minutes of thought, Lin Ma excitedly told Ah Qiu, I've got an idea. With our hardware, this plan is definitely going to work. Then, the two went to a women's clothing market. An hour later, two charmingly dressed girls appeared at the entrance of swimming pool, chatting and heading straight inside. The bald owner of the pool stopped them, saying the business was temporarily closed and to come back later for swimming. As soon as the owner finished speaking, the blonde girl flirtatiously played with her hair. And revealed that she was a ghost master from Cold Front Academy, tasked with handling the ghost at the pool. The owner, realizing they were there to help with the ghost, quickly showed his gratitude. After all, his business had been suffering due to the consecutive incidents, and he was on the brink of closure. Gratitude alone won't do much. If you want the female ghost taken care of quickly, you'll need to offer something more substantial. Lin Ma, dressed as a woman, extended her hand. The owner, understanding the situation, agreed that money wasn't an issue and promised a reward of 100,000 each if they could get rid of the ghost. Lin Ma and Ah Qiu high-fived, excited about their forthcoming fortune. Alright, let's get ready to catch the ghost. Please lead the way. Owner, Lin Ma said, pulling the bald owner towards the pool. However, the owner was very resistant and quickly left the scene, saying the ghost specifically targeted men. Lin Ma noticed something off about the owner's overly strong reaction. Ah Qiu suggested, maybe the owner is terrified after so many deaths in his pool. Let's not dwell on this. If we don't act fast, the team from Cold Front Academy will arrive. As they entered the pool, they were startled to see a young and attractive female live streamer who had sneaked in through a side door. After deducing that the ghost only targeted males, many internet celebrities, driven by money, had started to take risks and come here to live stream. Just as Ah Qiu and Lin Ma walked in, the live streamer immediately turned her phone camera towards them. The live stream suddenly exploded with comments. Whoa, these two women have wider hips than me, a real man. Guys, look closely, these are definitely men in drag. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew up Lin Ma's skirt, revealing his underwear and visibly hairy legs. Lin Ma, fully embracing his role, coyly covered his skirt. The live stream audience erupted with comments. I can't believe this. My mind is blown. I just saw a big guy lifting his skirt. Ah, I'm so scared I could vomit last night's dinner. A multitude of emotional collapse points alert tones suddenly rang out, leaving Lin Ma puzzled. How bizarre. Where did all these points come from? Lin Ma asked the live streamer what she was doing there. The girl introduced herself as Sweetheart, doing a horror live stream. A live stream? Lin Ma and Ah Qiu suddenly realized in horror that their cross-dressed appearances had been broadcast all over the internet. In the classroom of Aries Academy, Black Little Fat found the two girls on the screen increasingly familiar. This isn't right. Isn't that Lin Ma and Ah Qiu? He quickly informed Jai Feng, who, upon seeing the two fools on his screen, immediately darkened in expression. Slapping his hand on the table, Jai Feng exclaimed, these two rascals, catching ghosts in women's clothing. If anyone finds out they're disciples of 8 Ghosts King Duan Qiankuan, I'd be disgraced to my ancestors. Jai Feng then turned to Mu Wanqing, who was organizing documents nearby. Tell her to stop what she's doing and go help those two embarrassments. The senior sister, already eager to meet up with Lin Ma, smiled happily. She thought to herself how timely Lin Ma's assist was. She then leaped onto the curtain and turned to Black Little Fat with a graceful smile. Black Little Fat, don't forget to send me the live stream link. Delighted by the request from such a beauty, Black Little Fat eagerly agreed. Mu Wanqing then summoned her vampire and quickly headed towards the swimming pool where Lin Ma was. Meanwhile, at Lin Ma's location, a dense ghost energy was spreading all around. Suddenly, the energy started to vibrate violently and rapidly converged on Lin Ma and Ah Qiu, tightly enveloping them. Seems like dressing up didn't fool her. This ghost is clever, and judging by the intensity of this ghost energy, she's much stronger than an ordinary junior wicked spirit. Just then, 3 female ghosts dived down from above towards them. Ah Qiu, the ghosts are above us. And damn, there are 3 of them. Lin Ma yelled anxiously. The approaching ghosts, wildly excited, opened their mouths wide, revealing sharp, menacing teeth. The female live streamer Sweetheart, seemingly unafraid, perhaps confident that the ghosts wouldn't attack a girl, continued her broadcast. This is Sweetheart bringing you a real horror live stream. The battle between these two cross-dressing heroes and the evil spirits of the swimming pool is about to begin. Who do you think will win? As Sweetheart spoke, the live stream chat exploded with comments. This is bad. These two handsome guys are so fair and beautiful. They don't look like fighters. This is the blood-soaked swimming pool where 12 people died. As the voting ended, the viewers unanimously predicted Lin Ma and his companion would lose. The three female ghosts, as if in sync with the viewers, muttered about how men are no good and charged at Lin Ma and Ah Chiu. The leading ghost's eyes bulged in fury, and she let out a piercing scream. Under her control, the invisible ghost energy materialized, striking out like thousands of sharp blades. Lin Ma and Ah Chiu swiftly dodged to the sides, narrowly avoiding this deadly attack. The wall behind them, however, was not so lucky and was sliced into pieces. Are these just three junior wicked spirits? Why do they feel so strong? When we faced the smoke ghost, a higher order wicked spirit, it wasn't this challenging. This isn't an ordinary wicked spirit. These are obsessive female ghosts, formed from intense resentment. In their area of obsession, targeting those who match their obsession, their combat power can increase exponentially, the experienced blood-pupiled ghost explained solemnly. Obsession, the swimming pool must be their area of obsession, and men are the focus of their resentment. But what kind of injustice and pain could have created such a strong obsession? Lin Ma, stop pondering that for now. We need to deal with them first. Ah Chiu quickly slashed through the ghost energy blade, attacking Lin Ma. Knowing this wasn't the time for distractions, Lin Ma summoned his contracted ghosts for battle. 5 ghosts formed an encircling attack. Men, all men deserve to die, the female ghost exclaimed, her anger intensifying. Under the influence of her strong obsession, even the dark wind swirling around became a lethal weapon. Lin Ma and Ah Chiu had no choice but to use their spiritual energy to defend themselves. In a desperate move, Lin Ma's blood pupil swiftly rotated, unleashing the blood curse. All 3 female ghosts were hit, but the curse seemed to barely affect them. They continued to scream furiously, their ghost energy growing even more intense. These 3 female ghosts have a significant damage reduction against men and male ghosts. In this situation, we need the power of female fighters. He was about to command the big-breasted ghost and ghost leading lady to step in when he suddenly realized one of the female ghosts was missing. Feeling a chill overhead, Lin Ma broke into a cold sweat. The missing female ghost had appeared above him, grabbing his hair tightly and wrapping it around him, immobilizing him. Meanwhile, the other 2 ghosts launched their obsession imprisonment ability, trapping every man and male ghost in the area with their hair. Blood-pupiled ghost, do you have a way to break this control? My backlash ability has to be used the moment we're controlled. Right, big-breasted ghost and ghost leading lady aren't controlled. They can still help. Lin Ma commanded the only 2 female ghosts he had left to come to the rescue. You 2 foolish women, how can you help men? One of the obsessive female ghosts shouted angrily. She then suddenly leaped into the air, her hair whipping like steel cables, forcing the big-breasted ghost and ghost leading lady to retreat. Then, she directed her tangible ghost energy into blade-like forms, aiming straight for Lin Ma, intending to pierce him. At this critical moment, Lin Ma quickly turned around and, in a moment of eye contact with the female ghost, activated his blood realm illusion skill. The female ghost in the air was instantly caught in the illusion. Move quickly, you 2. Find a way to untangle this thing wrapped around me, Lin Ma urged anxiously. The ghost leading lady immediately took out a small knife to help, but the materialized ghost energy was too tough for her delicate strength. Forget it. Stop struggling. The illusion is about to end. Don't worry about me. Prepare for a head-on clash with that female ghost. We might still have a chance, Lin Ma said. Just as he finished speaking, the obsessive female ghost, freed from the illusion, charged at them. The ghost leading lady quickly started chanting ghost play, while the big-breasted ghost skillfully played her instrument, sending sharp sound waves with the Sanskrit sound claims life skill towards the ghost. The approaching obsessive female ghost froze in place, letting the sound waves continuously slice through her body. The live streamer's sweetheart was ecstatic, witnessing a ghost master summoning 5 fully formed ghosts of rare types. The comments section of the live stream exploded with reactions. This cross-dressing hero is no ordinary person. Not only does he have deep skills, but he's also calm in the face of danger. He might turn this around. As the control from the blood realm illusion ended, the obsessive female ghost in the air regained her mobility. Let's see what you can do now. The female ghost sneered menacingly at Lin Ma, her hair striking like blades. This time, let's see who can save you, you despicable man. I'm going to stab 1,000 holes in you. Lin Ma's face darkened at her words. How much hatred must she hold? Is today the day I die? Then, seeing the large black bag on the corpse-raising ghost, he came up with an idea. Under Lin Ma's mental command, the corpse-raising ghost, despite being entangled, activated the corpse control skill. Instantly, hundreds of bald zombies appeared in the swimming pool, blocking the attack for Lin Ma and rushing madly towards the skill-using obsessive female ghost. However, the zombies, being only at the fierce ghost level, were easily shattered by the obsessive female ghost's bare hands. Then, with a sweep of her tangible ghost energy, she annihilated nearly half of the zombies. But with their overwhelming numbers, as soon as the obsessive female ghost's skill ended, a zombie suddenly lunged forward and grabbed her. Then, the remaining zombies swarmed her, trapping the obsessive female ghost and starting to tear at her furiously. It seems that the decision to contract with the corpse-raising ghost was indeed a wise one. Although the obsessive female ghost possesses binding spells, there is a limit to the number of entities she can control. The zombies, although not particularly strong in individual individual combat, prove to be very effective as meat shields at critical moments. Temporarily, the obsessive female ghost is pinned down by a multitude of bald zombies, unable to move. However, this does not mean she lacks the ability to counterattack. In a moment of desperation, the obsessive female ghost expends a large amount of ghost energy to activate her powerful move, Strangle, instantly dismembering the many zombies pressing down on her. Seeing this, Lin Ma quickly instructs the corpse-raising ghost to reactivate the corpse control skill. As he feels the bindings on himself loosening significantly, he knows that if they continue to deplete her energy, they will have a chance to turn the tables. However, in just a moment, they lose more than 200 zombies, which greatly distresses the already stingy corpse-raising ghost. After all, these were his savings accumulated over hundreds of years, and under Lin Ma's command, a fifth of them were lost in mere minutes. Seeing the corpse-raising ghost's distress, Lin Ma hurriedly promises to provide 1,000 new corpses after they get out to replenish his forces. The corpse-raising ghost, comforted by Lin Ma's promise, eagerly continues summoning zombies to besiege the obsessive female ghost. Meanwhile, the female anchor sweetheart, who has never witnessed such an intense scene, is left somewhat speechless by the sight of the dense crowd of bald zombies. The live broadcast room continues to buzz with comments, with everyone discussing whether Lin Ma and his companion will survive. Sweetheart timely opens a prize-guessing game, while Black Little Fat, aware that Mu Wanqing is about to arrive at the scene, decisively goes all in, firmly believing that Lin Ma will make a comeback against the odds. Who is bullying my junior brother? A very pleasant voice of a mature woman resounds in the swimming pool. Sweetheart, who is looking down at the barrage of comments, immediately looks up. The sound of high heels striking the ground can be heard. Our stunningly beautiful Mu sister arrives at the scene just in time. Wow, who is this gorgeous woman? With her looks and figure, she could easily outshine international models. She's calling that cross-dressing guy junior brother. Does anyone know which school she's from? I'm begging my fellow netizens for information. The live broadcast room is now boiling with excitement. Upon seeing Mu's sister, both Lin Ma and Ah Cho excitedly shout for their senior sister, their hanging hearts finally settling down. Mu Wanqing, hearing Lin Ma and Ah Cho's calls, quickly walks forward. As the mark on her left hand lights up, several large ghostly figures appear. Under Mu Wanqing's control, the headless ghost takes the lead, leaping high and smashing its giant hammer into the ground. The resulting shockwave sends the obsessive female ghost flying, while many of the bald zombies are flattened. Senior sister, be careful with your strength. These zombies are my treasures. Please, don't hurt them anymore. Lin Ma shouts from the side. You've actually contracted another corpse-raising ghost. Kiddo, your talent is almost catching up with our masters. I'm envious of you guys who are favored by fate. Why can I only contract 3 ghosts? As Mu Wanqing was teasing Lin Ma, the headless ghost was already bound by the obsessive female ghost's long hair, wrapped up like a rice dumpling. Lin Ma quickly warned, Sister Mu, be careful of being controlled. Think this little trick can bind me? Mu Wanqing snapped her fingers, and the headless ghost's eyes turned blood red. Its muscles visibly swelled at a rapid pace, shaking off the ghost energy hair wrapped around it. Sister, that move is awesome, but why can't I break free from control while you do it so effortlessly? It mainly depends on the ghost's abilities. My headless ghost has no head and its skin is covered with hard scales, making it immune to all illusions. After releasing its ultimate move, gains the effects of life draining and control immunity. Ignoring illusions and control, that ability is just too incredible. Lin Ma looked at Mu Wanqing with admiration and thought, it seems every disciple of our master is extraordinary. Seeing her control ability being neutralized, the 3 obsessive female ghosts immediately changed their targets. Their hair, sometimes hard and sometimes soft, gave the headless ghost a hard time, clumsily being pulled back and forth by the obsessive female ghost. Seeing this, Lin Ma hurriedly asked Mu Wanqing to help him break free from control so they could jointly deal with the obsessive female ghost. Mu Wanqing stated that she didn't have a ghost to assist in breaking control over teammates. The only way to break the control was to kill the caster. Saying this, she commanded her vampire to charge forward. To avoid being controlled, the vampire immediately activated its ultimate move in midair, Hurricane Bite, sending a black hurricane crashing down on the obsessive female ghost with overwhelming force. At this moment, the headless ghost, wielding a giant hammer, launched an attack from the left, blocking their retreat. In panic, the obsessive female ghost hurriedly used solidified ghost energy to block, and then retreated towards the only safe direction. However, Mu Wanqing had anticipated this. She gently flicked her left hand, emitting a green energy, and the jailer ghost appeared above the obsessive female ghost. Simultaneously, the ghostly prison skill activated, dropping a giant cage from the sky, trapping the 3 obsessive female ghosts inside. You silly girls, I've been lying in wait here for half a day. Just as the cage was about to fall, the leading obsessive female ghost suddenly exploded with energy from beneath her feet, shooting out of the cage's control range. You still want to run? Mu Wanqing's jailer ghost immediately used its soul chain skill. A green ghost energy burst from its palm, shooting straight towards the obsessive female ghost's back. Evidently, she couldn't dodge in time and was caught squarely by the chain. The jailer ghost then pulled forcefully, flinging the escaping obsessive female ghost back into the cage. With a loud clang, the ghostly prison fully descended, and the 3 female ghosts became lambs to the slaughter. Mu Wanqing's battle, lasting only a few minutes, was spectacular. Her rational judgment and skilled abilities left Lin Ma utterly impressed. Now free from control, he used an ancient sword to cut off the ghost hair wrapped around him, preparing to deal with the 3 female ghosts. At this moment, the 3 ghosts started crying loudly, claiming they were victims in life and questioning why they were being destroyed even after death. Lin Ma paused for a moment but still extended his ancient sword. After all, these 3 ghosts had harmed 12 lives, and they could not be forgiven. Wait a minute, I have something important to say, the obsessive female ghost interjected. We've harmed people, and we deserve to die, but before you kill us, could you help us with something? Lin Ma explained that his mission was to eradicate evil spirits, not to assist them. However, the obsessive female ghost offered to exchange a secret for his help. Why are you asking him for help? No man is trustworthy. Be careful that he learns your secret and still doesn't help you. The other 2 obsessive female ghosts grumbled angrily. If we can't avenge ourselves, after we're gone, that evil man will continue to harm many more people. Hearing their words, Lin Ma felt that the situation was not as straightforward as it seemed. Tell me what you need help with. As long as it doesn't violate my principles, I'm willing to consider it, he said. Upon hearing Lin Ma's response, tears streamed down the obsessive female ghost's face. We 3 were all killed here, and the murderer is the bald owner of this swimming pool. 3 months ago, the bald owner noticed a good-looking girl who was the last to leave the pool. Along with the pool cleaner, he committed an atrocious act against her, ultimately torturing the girl to death. To evade police investigation, he pushed her body into the pool, fabricating a false scenario of drowning. Emboldened by his first crime, the owner later preyed on another girl under the guise of offering a membership. The ghost herself, a journalist reporting on the consecutive deaths, stumbled upon the suspicious details. After gathering evidence disguised as a customer and handing it over to the security bureau, the investigator dispatched turned out to be the owner's brother. Eventually, while aiding the investigation at the pool, she met the same fate as the previous victims. The 3 victims, filled with deep resentment, became restless souls, transforming into obsessive female ghosts. They managed to kill the 2 men who had wronged them, but unfortunately, the main culprit, the bald owner, hadn't entered the pool that day, missing the best chance to kill him. The guilty owner, realizing the deaths were retribution from the deceased girls, never set foot in the pool again. Bound by their obsession, the ghosts couldn't leave the pool and were helpless against him. Your request is to lure the owner into the pool for revenge, right? Yes, the 3 obsessive female ghosts said in unison. Why should we die so tragically while the murderer roams free? The security bureau is utterly useless. Ah Qiu, enraged by the story, clenched his fists, and Mu Wanqing, also a woman, deeply empathized with the ghost's resentment. Lin Ma's conversation with the ghosts was broadcast live, and the chat exploded with anger towards the security bureau. Seeing the tearful ghosts, Lin Ma assured them that their request was simple and he could help. However, he wanted to hear the secret they mentioned. The obsessive female ghost, sensing Lin Ma's sincerity, revealed, in 3 days at 10 p.m., the Southern Mountain Ghost Domain will break through from all sides, trying to shatter Zhou country's blockade. The 3rd leader of the Ghost Domain will pass by the north side of Lingling City with 10,000 spirits. The local residents won't have time to evacuate. There are at least 20,000 locals and 5,000 Seal Demon immigrants in the northern suburbs of Lingling City. The Seal Demon immigrants might not be valued in Zhou country, but the lives of those 20,000 locals are crucial. It seems what the master said is true. Zhou country uses Seal Demon citizens as cannon fodder. The ghost tide will leave nothing behind. Just report this to the security bureau, and you'll surely get a big reward. Lin Ma, appreciating the valuable information, agreed to lure the owner for them. As he gazed towards Lingling City, he felt a strong sense of duty as a Seal Demon nation's descendant, resolving to save people not for Zhou country, but for his own nationals. After agreeing to help the ghosts with their revenge, Lin Ma and Ah Qiu removed their disguises and dressed properly. Lin Ma said he would bring the owner in, and it wasn't too late to release the ghosts then. Mu Wanqing confidently agreed, expressing her own desire to punish the vile owner. Ah Qiu expressed some concern. After all, we're on a mission from the security bureau. If 3 registered ghost masters like us are present and still allow a citizen to be killed by a ghost, that would be indefensible. But Lin Ma reassured him, don't worry, I have a plan. Just follow my lead in this play. The main roles will be played by our 3 ghost sisters. Leave it to me. I'll perform well, Ah Qiu assured. But it's not just us acting. We also need Sister Mu's full cooperation, Lin Ma added. No problem, Mu Wanqing confidently nodded. Meanwhile, the bald owner, smoking on the roadside steps, grew suspicious of Lin Ma and Ah Qiu's lengthy stay inside. When he saw them emerge casually, he hurriedly approached to inquire about the situation. Gentlemen, have you dealt with the dirty things inside? Of course, Lin Ma replied confidently, holding 3 new ghost beads. Great, the bald owner laughed excitedly. Those 3 female ghosts not only hinder the operation of my pool, but also constantly sought my life. Now that they're gone, a big problem is solved. left. Don't forget the big bonus you promised us, Lin Ma reminded. What's the rush? What if those 3 ghosts aren't completely dead? Wouldn't that be too easy for you? I need to verify first, the owner insisted. No problem, you can go in and see for yourself. Ah Cho and Lin Ma stepped aside, opening the way. Suspiciously cautious, the owner stopped at the entrance of the pool, insisting that the 2 go ahead of him. Come on, uncle, you're a grown man. Don't be so timid. Lin Ma and Ah Cho disdainfully glanced at the owner. His pride wounded, the owner didn't argue but still requested to walk behind them. The 3 then slowly entered the swimming pool area. Seeing no signs of ghost energy, the owner finally let his guard down. Ha ha, those harmful spirits are finally gone. He laughed unrestrainedly. Now, can you pay us? Lin Ma reminded again. Pay? Are young people these days so greedy? You already accepted a bounty task from the Security Bureau, and now you want to double dip. I could report you to the Security Bureau, the owner retorted. Ah, as expected, you're just trash. Since you're not paying, then we won't kill the ghosts here, Lin Ma retorted. What? Not killing the ghosts? The owner was taken aback. Are you two deceiving me? The ghosts here aren't really dead, are they? You didn't honor your promise of a big bonus, so aren't you also lying to us? Ah Cho said with a smile. In the owner's moment of astonishment, Lin Ma suddenly changed his expression and whispered, attack. Mu Wanqing released the imprisoning cage, and the 3 female ghosts, grinning menacingly, pounced towards the bald owner. What's happening? Why are you stepping back? He asked, panicking. Suddenly feeling a chill behind him, he turned to see the 3 ghosts already upon him. Overwhelmed and unable to dodge, the owner was tackled by the female ghosts. His body was swiftly entangled in their ghost energy-infused hair. You, the culprit who harmed us, will now experience the agony of drowning, shouted the journalist ghost as she dragged the owner into the pool. Wrapped in hair and unable to move, he could only watch helplessly as he slowly sank into the water. Hee, your time is up. One of the female ghosts approached the bald owner from behind, her sharp ghostly claws gently sliding over his neck. The threat of imminent death caused the owner to struggle desperately, and he suddenly leaped out of the water. He loudly begged Lin Ma and Ah Cho for help, tossing his $1 million gold watch towards them as a plea. Lin Ma caught the thrown watch and looked at the bald man in the pool with a mischievous smile. Did your brain get waterlogged? Once you're dead, this watch will still be mine, right? So why should I bother saving you? Lin Ma's words left the owner in despair, who then accused Lin Ma and Ah Cho of colluding with ghosts, a serious crime in the eyes of the Security Bureau. Which eye of yours saw us colluding with the ghosts? You walked into the swimming pool and got attacked by wild ghosts. How can you blame us bystanders? But you waited for me to come in and deliberately let the ghosts kill me. That's also a serious crime, the owner argued. But before he could finish, the female ghost grabbed his head and pushed it back into the water. We are law-abiding citizens. We must make you fully understand that. Lin Ma turned to Mu Wanqing. Mu Wanqing stated that her ghost energy was depleted, which allowed the 3 obsessive female ghosts to escape, and it was definitely not intentional. You heard that, right? Don't talk nonsense, or I'll accuse you of slander, Lin Ma warned, as the bald man resurfaced, emotionally exhausted. Now, we are ready to dive in and save you. Get yourself into position, or if we fail to save you, it will be your own fault. Evil ghosts, we will fight you. Lin Ma and his companions exaggeratedly charged towards the pool, then dramatically mimed actions at the pool's edge. Their over-the-top movements captivated the female ghosts, who stopped tormenting the owner to watch the performance. As a faint ghost energy passed by, Lin Ma and his team feigned injury and dramatically fell backward. Oh no, the obsessive female ghosts suddenly became so strong. We can't beat them, Lin Ma said, pretending to be in pain. The chat went wild with comments praising their acting skills, joking that they deserved an Oscar. As the ghostly hair tightened, the owner was strangled to the point of being unable to speak. Despair filled his eyes as the eerie hair cut into his flesh. Moments later, amid a gruesome tearing sound, the bald owner was ripped apart by the 3 female ghosts. Finally, it was over. Lin Ma and his team stopped their theatrical performance. The female ghosts, looking at the remains, appeared relieved. They slowly floated upwards, their appearances reverting to their original forms. They thanked Lin Ma and the others for their help, and as their obsessions faded, they slowly vanished, leaving behind 3 crystal-clear ghost beads, which fell into Lin Ma's hands.